Let's talk about the Semiconductor Mission, because one of the key focal points in that is we must have resilient supply chains. We cannot just depend on Taiwan. We cannot just depend on Japan or ensure that China has a dominance in high-tech manufacture in certain areas. If we are to realize our potential in semiconductor manufacture in India, how will that translate into growth for the Indian economy?
So, Vishnu, let me first tell you that, the global supply chains across the world are badly disrupted. They're disrupted because the United States has just imposed 100% duty on imports from China on electric vehicles. It's imposed 50% duty on batteries, on solar imports. It has imposed this because it says, and rightly so, it says that China subsidizes manufacturing, government supports it, and therefore they're doing extra production to penetrate global markets, and that is why China is controlling 70% of the EV market, it's controlling 75% of the solar market, it's controlling about 74% of the battery market, and therefore we must put an end to this oversupply in the global markets. But US is also responsible for outsourcing all its manufacturing to China in the last 3-4 decades. And therefore, global supply chains are disrupted. And you should read a book by a guy called Chris Miller on the chips war. And what it says is, if China was to annex Taiwan tomorrow, then it'll control automobiles, it'll control batteries, it'll control defense, it'll control aerospace, because the whole world will be running on chips. And that's why, for countries to become totally dependent on chip manufacturing from abroad is a dangerous proposition. And therefore, India must create its own ecosystem, because we are a very large consumer of vehicles, we are a very large consumer of mobiles. Every Indian has a smartphone. You need chips for that. And that's why one of the most dynamic measures the government has taken is to roll out the Semiconductor Mission of 76,000 crores, both in terms of design, in terms of fab, in terms of fabless, and in terms of chip manufacturing. And that, to my mind, will be transformational in the days to come.